Okay guys, so magnets. As early as grade school, you are exposed to magnets. Your teacher in grade school will bring a bar magnet, and then some nails. Then he or she will pick that up, and you get amazed. Wow, magic! Of course, there's a magnetic field. Now, the primary reason why positive and negative charges attract is because there's an electric field and there's an established electric potential or voltage as measured by the 43. Here, you can apply the same thing. Why? Because physicists are so redundant. They want to have a carbon copy of each of the same thing. For gravity, it's F equals ma, right? It's linear. The constant of proportionality is mass. There's a corresponding gravitational field. For charges, there's a corresponding analogy, which is the electric field. And what is the formula? Force is proportional to electric field. The constant of proportionality is charge. Again, a line. The primary difference is, for charges, there's a separation of positive and negative charges. But here, you can never separate these two, inseparable. Okay? In short, charges are loner, but yung magnetic poles, no, they're always in pair. Again, you have a wire here. What happens when you pass electricity there for sample current I? If it is upward, your red pointer goes to the right, and if it is the other way around, it is in the left. Okay? You can imagine that this is my wire. Okay? The current is from down to up. So what will happen? I grasp the wire. My thumb points in the direction of the current, which is upward in this case. And my fingers are curling in the direction of the field. And that is right, because your pointer is towards the right. Okay? It's the other way around for the okay? As you can see, my fingers are curling here on the left side. Okay? You can try that in the laboratory. If you have a moving charge, okay, if you cross the velocity and the magnetic field vector cross product, it points towards the force. This is your velocity vector. Normally, that is where your charges will go. Normally, you cannot segregate one charge, so that's a current. The flow of the current is very easy to see. It's in the direction of the wire, either opposite. Okay. Normally, you also know that if you have a bar magnet, have you seen a horseshoe magnet? Ayan, nakaganyan siya, diba? The magnetic field is locked here. Okay? So the direction could be up or down. Okay? Of course, we don't have a horseshoe magnet. We have a horseshoe magnet in the lab. Let's try that. Okay. So normally you will know the direction of the velocity and the magnetic field. Okay? For a bar magnet, the magnetic field is around it. Okay? Take a look at this. It circulates from north to the south. So normally, magnetic field B. Therefore, the direction of the force where it will be captured or being pushed for the positive charge is known because it was written in mathematical form, the cross product of your velocity vector and your magnetic field vector. So how do you do the cross? If you try to curl the green arrow towards the blue arrow, your thumb points to the cross product and enclosed charges. Proportional this time to a cross product of the velocity vector and the magnetic field. And again, what can you say? The constant of proportionality is the Q. So again, it's linear. Life is a linear thing. When you were in school and in college, what have you noticed with your allowance? It goes up with respect to your, as time goes by, your allowance goes up. It's linear, essentially. Life is a linear stuff. Do you agree? Actually, when you do math, there's a way to linearize everything. If it is parabolic or hyperbolic, there's a way to convert it to a linearity such that there's a one constant that determines everything. Galing, no? Galing. Guys, don't forget this Tesla. In honor of the founder, Tesla. The Tesla is Newton per ampere meter. Okay? Tesla. Of course, the unit of force is Newton still. Yan. SI tayo. Guys, take a look at this. We have something like this. Again, the magnetic field is locked inside the North and the South Pole. It's just like your positive plate. From the positive, the electric field will go up to the negative. Here, you have from the North Pole, you go up to the South Pole. Okay? That's a thing to it. And it goes through the story of the wire. As you can see, the magnetic field is what? In circular fashion. As you can see, essentially straight. Of course, it becomes curved when you encounter you're near the corners. Okay, we cannot avoid that. Okay, in divergence. But essentially in the center, okay, it's uniform. Nice. Let's have a first problem. Yeah. So guys, from this formula, of course the velocity will cancel out. Okay. Then you have V over R. So what is the other side? QB over M. Just like this. Can you see, guys? Yes, okay. Now, V over R is omega. So the magnetic field B is M omega over Q. Okay. But we are given the frequency. Normally, we have the frequency of oscillation kasi you are electronics and communication engineering or computer engineering. What matters is the frequency. That's why they have a device there especially that could produce a certain frequency. Okay? Guys, have you tried a frequency generator sa 53? Well, it's a device that could generate a frequency. Say, for example, 50 Hertz. Okay, oscillation. Of course, sa 43, understood. Yes. Yes, sir. So many times. Function din. Di ba? No, yan. Okay, so we are concerned with the frequency. How do you write the frequency stuff? The angular velocity is 2 pi f. 2 pi multiplied by the frequency. Can you recall? Omega is 2 pi f. Okay, very good. The frequency is given. So, multiplied by 2 pi, I get the omega thing. And, after the omega thing, I could put that so that I could find the magnetic field, B. And, if you do that in your sheet, please do that. Punch this value in the calculator. For practice, you'll get 0.08 Tesla. Guys, that's a measurable value. We have a magnetic field detector in the lab, so you can do that. Okay. Okay, so let's read the problem. You read it silently. You have a charge that's moving through a magnetic field rectified along the x-axis. Okay. So as you can see, the charged object moves in a helical path. Okay. Paikot-ikot siya ron. everything is given. What's being asked is force. It's a proton. Okay. So what do you need to do? Last time I've told you that the force is proportional to cross product of velocity and magnetic field B. So there we have it. The force is proportional to velocity and magnetic field B. The constant of proportionality is charge. So how do you write the velocity? The velocity has a component. So you use I and k hat. I think you know what's I and k hat means. That's a unit vector that's directed to the x and what? What's k? Z. Okay. So we cross that to a magnetic field B, I hat. Now why I hat? Because the magnetic field is directed towards the x-axis. So what happens here? I cross I is 0. So that's nothing. K cross I is J. Okay. So where's the magnetic force rectified? What axis? Magnetic force is rectified at the J hat direction. So that's Y. Am I correct? J stands for Y. Am I correct? Guys, am I correct? Ayan. Can you see the physical representation? If you cross the velocity vector towards the magnetic field, okay, where is it rectified? Magnetic field vector. It's in the center of the helical path. Am I correct? Okay. So that is effectively Y direction. Okay? So I think there's no problem here. I won't assign you to do this anymore. The charge constant, you can find that in your calculator. No need to memorize 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19. Okay. So you have the given, which is 2.0 and 0.5 Tesla. Okay, so you'll have 1.6. If you have the 1.6 now, how do you find the acceleration? Okay, using Newton's law. Okay, Newton's law, F over m. And again, that's easy to do. No need to memorize the constant for the mass of the proton, 1.67. That's present in your calculator already. Then you'll get 9.6 times 10 to the 12. Okay. I don't think you'll miss that out. Kasi very simple lang yung multiply everything, then divide. Okay, how about for the other one? The resulting helical path. Okay. The pitch. How do you find the pitch? Last time we have I have told you that the acceleration, which is given to be a v squared over r from your physics 1, so you would recall, is equivalent to the force exerted by your magnetic field, which is directly proportional to the cross product of the velocity and the magnetic field B. The cross product vanishes because this velocity and this magnetic field are at 90 degrees with each other. Can you see? Okay. Tangent to the path. Okay. So, with some algebra, you can find that your radius is this. Can you see it? Or cancel the B, then segregate R from the left side. Can you see it? MB over QB. Do you follow? So again, you just have to put the values. And again, I think that's fine. You won't find any difficulty there. So we won't do that anymore. The result is 4.18 mm. That's the radius of your circular motion. Okay. Now, what is omega now? Okay. That is QB over M. Can you see it? How did the omega materialize? What's omega? That's V over R. So effectively, your omega is QB over M. Can you see it? Okay. And I think this is also easy to do in your calculator. So you get 4.8 radians per second. Now, what is omega? That is 2 pi f. What's f? Frequency. Frequency is inversely proportional to the capital T, which is your period. Okay. Therefore, I could find the period. Can you see that that is 2 pi over omega? Okay, yeah, though. So this is 1 over t, then segregate the t there on one side. So therefore, that is 2 pi over omega. Okay. You have successfully found the omega. Okay. Therefore, you can find the period. The period is just 10 to the negative 7 seconds. Okay. Now, how will you find the pitch? From physics 1, how do you find the distance traveled? Time is the period. Okay. So all you need to do is multiply that with the velocity, which is 1.5. Okay. Given there. Okay. Then you find that the pitch is 19.7 or around 20 mm. Okay. 17 clear there. No question. I don't know if you have that at home. Mga antique. Okay. Cathode ray tube. So the principle is you shoot electrons. Okay. Now when the electron beam encounters this plate and this thing here at the side, okay, the plate obviously gives something like our electrical discussion. There's an electrical captured in between the plates that is uniform, just like this, from positive to the negative side. Can you see it? This whole thing is being represented by this top view. Okay. And of course, you have the magnetic field here coming from your this magnetic material. Ayan. It's also uniform. So, can you see that that is towards the board? Recording. Okay. So, how does the motor works? Everything now is powered by a motor. Your electric fans in the ceiling, the blower of your air conditioner, everything is motor. If you form a loop, okay, torque them just by forming a loop. How's that? Okay, have you seen this wire? Of course, there is current that will pass through NALQ. What's that? A is the cross-sectional area, L is the length of your wire. So effectively, what's that? That is the volume occupied by the charges. Cross-sectional area times length, right? Okay. What's N? Well, we can say that that is the number of charges per volume. Okay? How do you get the total charges? Just multiplied by Q. And I think the 43 class will agree that if you multiply everything, that is your current I. Right? Can you imagine? N is the total number of charges per volume. You multiply it by the volume of the wire. that's being occupied by your charges multiplied by the what? Charge. The value of the charge. Okay? So you get the total current I. Okay? Your L, that's here, and your magnetic field B is here also. And done. That's the expression for your force. ILB. Okay? Do you have questions there? Magnetic field is pointing upward, and the charge is circulating like this. If you curl the velocity of this one towards the magnetic field B, can you see that the force is towards the right? Yes or no? If you curl the velocity vector, which is in the direction of your current, towards the magnetic field B, can you see your thumb points at the right side? Yes, as stated by the book. How about here? Of course, it reverses the direction. So, if you curl the velocity, this one, towards the magnetic field B, can you see that your thumb points in the left? Yes. Okay. Therefore, if you have a force that is towards this direction on the right and this one is towards the left, you effectively form a couple. So what will happen to your loop of wire? It will naturally turn. Okay? Clockwise or counter? Clockwise in the direction of the force. Okay? There you have it. You have the principle of the electric motor. So you will see in the electric motor there are so many loops of wire there. And if you pass electric current there, the natural thing that will happen is, if it has permanent magnets in its frame, naturally it will turn because it has this couple. Okay? So how do we calculate the torque? Normally that's the one that's been advertised. If you buy a car, there's a torque there, maximum RPM that could be produced. So how do you calculate the torque now? Okay? The torque. Can you see that that is 2F B over 2 sine phi? From your physics 1, what is a torque? Yes, radius. Sabi ni Julie, you have to multiply the force by the radius or the lever arm. Can you see that the radius is B over 2 sine phi? This one is B. You are in this axis, so the normal thing is to divide it by 2. And can you see that your lever arm, this one, this perpendicular line here, you have to operate with sine phi of the included angle. Can you see that? Remember, we have to multiply not only the r, but the one that is perpendicular to your force. Okay? That's why we have sine phi here. Can you see it now? Of course, you can see why it's multiplied by 2 because there are two forces there with equal magnitudes. That's a couple, so times 2. Times 2. Kasi there are two forces, left and right. Ayan, no? How will I turn your volt? If you have you see the if you go to a bank and you see the volt, how they would they turn it? Well, you can turn it by one hand, or if you're driving, you can do it one hand if you're lazy. But the normal thing is you use your both hands. Okay. One of the forces down, one of the forces up, so that you can turn right. Okay. Times 2. Question? Okay. Can you see this now? Because of algebra. Of course, you plug in I, L, B. The length is A. From the figure. Can you see it? The torque is I, B, A sine phi. Okay. Now, what is this IA? This IA is being given a name which is magnetic dipole moment. In the 53, you will always use that because of consequence of quantum mechanics, okay? Now, as said in quantum mechanics, the primary reason why you have a magnetic field is it occupies a certain, because of the charges nga, the electrons, could go up or down. Now, you have a certain orbital, when two of them are in pair, they're neutral because you have a spin up and spin down. Eh. But in some elements, you have a net of only a spin up and a net of spin down. Therefore, you have a net magnetic moment. And that is addressed by the dipole moment thing. Okay? In physics. They want to give it a fancy name so that it's not the same thing with chemistry. Pero the thing is, they are correlated. They are just the same thing. They just want to give it a fancy name. Oh, so we have a magnetic dipole moment. Okay? Okay. So you have IA. Now notice that if your magnetic dipole moment, which is the IA, if you cross it to the B, you'll get the direction whether it is clockwise or counterclockwise. Take a look at the U here. It's pointing there, no? How about the magnetic field B? It's pointing up. If you try to imagine that you're gonna curl the magnetic dipole moment towards B, okay, I'm curling it. What's the rotation? Take a look at my fingers. I'm curling your U towards my B. What's the rotation? Okay. So again, if you curl the U towards the B, what can you see? The rotation is what? It's clockwise. Okay? So that's the natural thing to do. You take the cross product, then that's your torque. Okay? It will decipher whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise. So that's torque. Okay? Nothing else. Okay. Remember that. That's U cross B. What letter? A. That's cross-sectional area. Multiply A and B. Yun. No questions? No question. Okay, just read this silently. Circular, blah, blah, blah. So, fundamental question. What's the area of a circle? Okay, so we have pi r squared here. And how many turns? Okay. What's the current? Supplied 5 amperes. Therefore, we have the U, magnetic dipole moment, 1.18. I think okay na yan kasi just multiply lang and square something. Okay, what's your torque now? It's a cross product between magnetic dipole moment and your, okay, which is given as 1.2 Tesla. I think you will have no problem here. That's 1.41 Newton meter. That's your torque. As you can see, this is a cross-section of your electric motor. Don't be surprised that there are wires that are coiled. Okay. Now, what's the primary thing when you have wires coiled? Generates heat. That's why when you hold your electric fan, it's hot. Backside portion. Diba? Because there are wires inside. Yun ang principle niya. May tanong ba? Ito ang activity natin today. This is very important. Okay. Sir. in action, and current multiplied by resistance. That's the thing that makes your motor hot. Why? The current is passing right through it. Okay, naintindihan niyo ba? There's a power that's being emitted there if you multiply I and V. Okay? It's a primary result because of the resistance of the wire. Can you write that on your sheet? Oh, we're designing a motor eh. Ayan. Somewhat. Sulit mo na yan. Hindi malala dito. Okay, let me ask the 43. Why is 120 volt equivalent to E plus IR? 43? Okay. Some of the voltages should be zero. Okay. Or in short, if it is supplied by 120, then the output should be the EMF generated plus the IR. Okay? You get it? You write that down. Kasi important yan. You're designing a motor nga. Everything works on a motor. What's the power delivered to the motor? That's 120 multiplied by your current. Diba? Don't forget that formula kasi it's very useful. IV. What's the resulting unit? Watts. Everything is rated in watts. Bombilya, LED. Diba? Everything is rated in watts. So that's 480 watts. Do you have a question? Suot nyo lang yun. What is the power dissipated? Okay? You can have an IV or I squared R. You see the voltage is IR, right? So you have two I's, so that's I squared R. So what is the power dissipated? 4 squared times 2. And again, that's 32 watts. Okay. What if you take the difference between the input and the power dissipated? Take the difference of these two. Yes. That's very useful for mechanical engineers. Work could be extract from the motor. Diba? That's a 448 watt. Okay? Motor. Of course, we want something that is high in efficiency. Diba? Ideally, we want something that is zero heat loss. Everything that is supplied there through current will be converted to useful work. So that's 448 over 480. Output over input, 93%. Okay? You can write it down. That's important. Electric fan is rotating. And I want to, wala lang, I just want to break something. I hold the blades of the fan such that it stops. Okay? O, diba? What do you think will happen to the motor? Cancels out. It's not moving. Okay, can you see that? Your current becomes 60 amperes now. Not what? Not 4. Because you have lost your what? E.